What's up, guys? I'm here for a week 5 breakdown between myself and Clemens. This one was a really high scoring game, although it's not as high scoring compared to some of the other matchups this week, shockingly. But this was still pretty high scoring nonetheless. So let's kind of dive in and see how things unraveled here for Clemens. Even though he put up a high score, just wasn't enough to beat me this week, man. So here we go. We got Dak Prescott coming up big time for me here for 26.68 points. Put up 3 touchdowns, had 300 yards through the air. Did lose a fumble, but all in all, had a very solid performance for me. If not, wasn't spectacular, but definitely more than enough. Aaron Rodgers, 23.76 points. Had a lot of yards, only had 2 touchdowns and a pick. I say only 2 because usually Aaron throws like 3 or 4 touchdowns, it feels like every week, but this week was a little bit more modest for him, but still a solid score there for you, Clemens. Alvin Kamara got me 26.7 points. This was probably his best week of the season for him personally. 16 carries, 71 yards, and a TD. Also got some actions in the receiving game, 51 yards and a touchdown. So I'm very happy with that. Nick Chubb, big Nick Chubb, got 23.50 points. Definitely, he still gets that volume, even though he's sharing time with Kareem Hunt. It's crazy. I don't know how they're both just dominating week in and week out, but they both get their touches and they both dominate. So same old story here for Chubb, getting his numbers. Not a lot of action in the receiving game, but that's not really his game anyway, as you already know, Clemens. But he's like Derrick Henry light in some ways. It's like he's like the next best natural runner, I think, in my opinion, behind Derrick Henry. So good numbers there for you. Austin Eckler, pretty much the Swiss Army knife of the entire league. He gets his numbers in so many different ways. 17 carries, 66 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also had 5 receptions, 53 yards, and a touchdown. Did lose me a fumble, so it wasn't a perfect week, but he got me 30 points. So in our league, half PPR, I definitely love those pass catching numbers there from Austin Eckler. James Robinson doing his thing. 21.20 points. Why did they even draft Travis Etienne? I don't even know what's going on in Jacksonville. I know he got hurt, so if he hadn't gotten hurt, it would have eaten into probably Robinson's numbers. But Robinson's a clear RB1 fantasy and in real life. So 18 carries, 149, and a touchdown. So he just keeps on being probably the best player by far on that whole Jags roster. DK, Donkey Kong Metcalf got me 5 catches, 98 yards, and 2 TDs on Thursday Night Football. Set me up nicely going into the week. He did have a bit of a hiccup there with his quarterback going down here for probably the next 4 or 6 weeks, however long it's going to be. But Geno did get him a touchdown, so that gives me some encouragement that maybe his numbers won't drop too much with Geno in there. Adam Thielen had a shockingly bad game, only 5 points. Usually he catches touchdowns. He only got like 2 catches, and they came like super late in the game I saw in red zone. So he was just not involved at all in a very good matchup against the Lions. So it's very shocking that he didn't do much at all the entire game. Amari Cooper, all he's been doing this year is catching touchdowns. Speaking of touchdowns with Thielen, he's been saving my week sometimes here with the touchdowns. Had 60 yards receiving and a touchdown. So not gaudy numbers at all, but those touchdowns, I'll definitely keep taking those to go with the Dak stack all day, every day. Jacoby Myers got me 7, well, not me, got you. Clemens got 7.6 points. Very solid production, not great, but he's still the main receiver there for Big Mac Jones there in New England. Speaking of New England, Jonnu, I had to pivot to him with Kittle going out on IR here for a couple of weeks. Did not get me the numbers that I wanted at all. I've since replaced him, but Hunter Henry there is eating up all the targets there in the tight end room, so I understand that. Got me 2 catches, 27 yards. Not a whole lot there. Tyler Higbeast did get you a touchdown, Clemens. So he definitely saved your week there from the tight end spot. 8.4, not great, but he did get you a touchdown. Damian Williams was my prized waiver wire pickup. I spent all my fab, literally all of it, to get him. Got me 15.4 points, which I'm very happy about, but he's also now on the COVID list. So he got positive tests, so he's going to be out this coming week for me, which stinks because I spent so much for him. But at least he got me a big number here before he's taken like a week or so hiatus. So, not all bad, but, it's not good for me going forward here. CD Lamb got 16.8 points on the 4 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Had a nice long touchdown there from Dak I saw in the Red Zone channel. Tyler Bass got me 8 points. He's been the best kicker in fantasy in our league here so far, so I got very lucky to get him. But this offense rolls so much. I'm actually shocked they're not he's not getting lower numbers, because usually they would be kicking more extra points instead of field goals, but he's getting them both. So it's like the best of both worlds so far for Tyler Bass. So hopefully that keeps happening here for him. Greg Zerline had a better week though, had 14 points. He got 3 field goals, 3 extra points, 5 extra points. So he was money all day there for you, Clemens. And then finally, the defenses. Rams defense got me 8 points, very average. And the Dallas D got a late interception return for a touchdown to boost your numbers up there at the end, Clemens. Even though it was too little, too late, you still got a very solid total. Great matchup, Clemens. Just had a huge week. You had a big week. I just had a bigger week. But your team's pretty solid, man. 2-3. Still in the thick of it going forward. I think there's still like 10 regular season games to go, so it's a lot of time to go to get the playoff positioning sorted out. And then I'm 4-1, very fortunate, very tough league that we're in here, man. But I hope that I keep the good times rolling.